In this video we're going to be looking at comparative and superlative adjectives in Latin and how to spot them and translate them. The adjectives we've learned so far in Latin have been positive adjectives, what we might think of as normal adjectives, long and sad. If we want to say longer or very long, we need to use a comparative or a superlative adjective. The comparative in English is the part of the adjective that has er on it, so longer or sadder. And in Latin, it will always have ior, either at the end or, as we'll see in a minute, as part of the ending. So longior and tristior. The superlative adjective is much easier to spot because it always has the isi part in the middle of it. When we meet it, it actually declines like bonus. So it will have a masculine like dominus, it will have a feminine like puella, and have a neuter like bellum. But the double si in the middle of it should always make it stand out. So when we meet these adjectives, we can straight away spot the eor part of it. So in the first sentence, Gaius fortior est. Gaius is braver. And with a comparative adjective, we're often going to find the word quam as well. Gaius is braver than Marcus. In the second sentence, we see eor in the middle of the word, and longiorem is now agreeing with epistolam. They both have an accusative ending. Longiorem, because its third declension, has em on the end of it. So, my brother, subject, verb, scripsit, wrote, object, a longer letter. My brother wrote a longer letter. The eor in the ending tells me it's a comparative. The last sentence, the Romans are sadder, and again I've got a quam here, than the Greeks. So whenever I see eor in an adjective, either at the end or in the middle of it, I translate it as something In my second set of examples, I have superlative adjectives. So Marcus fortissimus est, we would simply translate that as Marcus is very brave. And it's a point worth making that a superlative can be very brave, or it can be bravest. They are both superlative adjectives. Very brave is the most common translation, and probably the one you should start with. Marcus is very brave. Marcus is the bravest. There are fewer contexts where that would be a good translation. But if we look in the second sentence, Manlius est fortissimus ex militibus, I have a preposition phrase at the end of the sentence. Manlius is the bravest of the soldiers. And here I need to translate fortissimus as bravest for it to make sense. In both cases, however, the isi in the middle of it makes it a very obvious form of fortis. There are, however, a number of very, very common irregular comparatives and superlatives. Luckily for us, many of them are actually English words. Major becomes major in English. Minor becomes minor. We talk about maximums and we talk about minimums. We talk about someone who expects the best all the time, being an optimist. And we talk about someone who expects the worst, being a pessimist. So there are easy ways of remembering these, but remember, when you translate them, you do need to translate them as superlatives. Optimus must mean best or very good. Pessimus must be worst or very bad.